Hi, folks. This is Dick and Pat Green from the lovely little town of Brighton, Iowa. This is a normal Sunday. We got up this morning, went to church, had Sunday school. Everyone was there that's normally there, and talking with, listening to the pastor. And the pastor said that today was going to be a little short because he just had a few things, and then he wanted us to participate in the sermon. And one of the things that he said was that we really want to try to get through to you all to speak life into people all the time. And in his normal prayers that he would do that for people who weren't there. Well, as my wife and I are sitting there, and he's going through his notes, he's looking down, and he was standing up like this there, and then he kind of looked down like that, and then went on forward. Our pastor, whose name is Larry Black, died on the pulpit this morning.
Yes.
Died on the pulpit. I saw him started to his head stayed down, shall I say. And I ran to the pulpit, grabbed a hold of him, and first thing I said was, I spoke life into you in Jesus Christ's name. And my wife immediately came up. She was right behind me, and she was saying the same thing. I said, you shall live and not die. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you shall live and not die. And there were, let's see, about a half a dozen people standing around him. Nine altogether, okay. The pastor has a wireless mic on, okay. It's laying there right beside us, and it wasn't turned off. The whole thing got recorded on CD by the young man that was up in the sound booth. So we have the whole testimony kind of deal about that, and it was the first time ever I had ever smelled what I considered death. The pastor's breath was just something like I'd never smelled before, and it was. And then he did this, and then kind of, I had my hand on his neck, just like this here, and there's no pulse. He wasn't breathing. He was done. And we kept commanding, and I cast that spirit of death out of him. My wife was in the background, just praying like you wouldn't believe in tongues, just commanding and praying in tongues, and everybody else around us is trying to figure out kind of what's happening, okay? Because they haven't been trained, they haven't done this, okay? And so they
all came up finally.
Right,
They're all finally all around him.
And so we were committed. We continued to minister with him. Probably, I suppose, 7-8 minutes, something like that. There, maybe 10 at the very most. I don't know. We went and got him some water because I said, Larry, come back in Jesus Christ's name. And he kind of moved a little bit, and he started to focus and all that kind of stuff. But I suppose he was basically dead for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that there. And knowing that, and he had all his bodily functions just gone.
They're gone.
He had to come to our house and take a shower. Our pastor Larry Black today is alive because Jesus is King.
Yes.
And Pat and I were taught by Curry Blake of John G. Lake Ministries that teaches divine healing technician training.
The power that lives in us,
right,
is greater than he that lives in the world.
Right.
And if you don't know the power, you don't know Jesus.
That's right.
And you can walk in this power the same as we
That's
do,
right.
Because we are
Absolutely.
all believers.
Absolutely.
And if you have Jesus inside you, you can raise the dead.
Right. There are some people who believe you can't teach someone to do that. Yes, you can. We do it all the time also. We have taught all kinds of people. Curry has taught hundreds, thousands of people. And it works every day.